Okay, how's everybody doing today? Hold on, I'm just trying to find how can I how do I share this? Hmm. Well, I don't know if I share this. But eh, what to do? Hmm. So I can go ahead and show off my wrestling collection again. This is probably one of my favorite DVDs. Greatest wrestling stars of the '80s. You got Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter. Um, there's Iron Sheik, Bobby Heenan, rest in peace, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that I know. Yep, that's Junkyard Dog, and that's Paul Orndorff. He's got him in a modified camel clutch. See the way that he's he's got his knee right into Junkyard's back. He's got him in the submission. Once again, there's Junkyard. Also, rest in peace. Dusty Rhodes, which I believe is given the bionic elbow to Million Dollar Man. Ted DiBiase was on NXT a while back. It's again got Paul Orndorff, and he's getting choked out with a chain by Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Orton's father. This is a great DVD. I'll even give you a list of some of the matches. We got Greg Valentine versus Roddy Piper, which they talked about in the Roddy Piper special. Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper had an amazing rivalry. And when they went out and fought, they really went out there and just really punched each other. And um, they ended up having the dog collar match, which was very violent but very memorable. We got Slaughter and Iron Sheik, um, Greg Valentine and Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog and Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior and Bobby Heenan, which Bobby Heenan would get his neck broken by the Ultimate Warrior, something that nobody ever really discussed in either the Dark Side of the Ring or the A&E special. They never discussed that for some reason. I don't know why. But Jim Cornette did, and whether you agree with him or not, I'm kind of indifferent about him. I respect the fact that he has a vast knowledge of wrestling history. Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, thank you for whoever liked the video, and also feel free to be in the chat, ask me any questions about wrestling or life or movies or it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't really know exactly what my live streams are going to be, but just trying to have some fun. We got Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, Starcade '84, Ole and Arn Anderson versus Wahoo McDaniel and Billy Jack Haynes, Jerry the King Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich. Once again, rest in peace. Of course, to all the Von Erichs. The Von Erichs, which was also a really good Dark Side of the Ring episode. Respect to Kevin Von Erich and, of course, his sons, Marshall and Ross. I saw them on MLW. I thought they were really good, really great wrestlers. Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair, the Chi-Town Rumble in '89. Excellent match. Very fast, just very technical. It's not sloppy. It's a matchup that you just have to see to believe. I guarantee you will love this match. Ric Flair versus Jay Youngblood. We got some promos here. We got Dusty Rhodes promo. We got Ricky Steamboat gets his name. The Four Horsemen interview. This is not a gang sign. This is when somebody tells you, is this a gang sign? You tell them, no, man. This is a sign for one of the greatest factions in our sport. Because that's what it is. Every time. You come up to a non-wrestling fan, you throw up this, they're like, is he throwing up a gang sign? It's the Four Horsemen. Get it right, people. Read a book. Sheesh. They read all these books about football and all these other sports. Why can't you? When somebody throws up this four, it's for the Four Horsemen. And no, not the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's Ric Flair, J.J. Dillon, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. Jimmy Snuka versus Bob Backlund. Iron Sheik also versus Bob Backlund. Paul Orndorff. Iron Sheik and Hogan. Bob Orton and Jimmy Snuka. Piper and Hogan. Iron Sheik swings his Persian clubs. And many more. Oh, and here's the back. That's, of course, once again, we got the Sheik. That's Cowboy Bob Orton, and I don't know who that is. Is that Bruno Sammartino? Yeah, you guys let me know. And it's Ricky Steamboat. There's Junkyard Dog. Oh. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody's day? I guess, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of show off my wrestling collection. There's John Cena when he won against Triple H, and there's Rey Mysterio holding up the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, look at that. There's, there's Benoit and JBL for the United States Championship. There's Mark Henry and The Undertaker. And that is Chris Masters and Kane. Chris Masters, I remember that guy. He was also on an episode of Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon at one point. Only for one episode. If anybody even remembers that. Then we got ECW Bloodsport. And it is just that. It is very violent, very bloody, very gory compared to that of WWE even at the time. Like, WWE still had its violence around that time. But obviously this is more violent than anything that the WWE was putting out in 2005. With some exceptions on pay-per-view and stuff. I can see there's a bloody Tommy Dreamer. There's the matchup with Sabu and Terry Funk. They both got caught in the barbed wire, and Terry Funk was so close to hitting an artery, and if it did, then he would have died in that match. It's Beulah McGillicuddy and Bill Alfonso. It's Mike Awesome and Tanaka, I believe is his name. From the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view. We got Cactus Jack versus Mikey Whipwreck and the Public Enemy. Sandman, Terry Funk, Cactus Jack, and Shane Douglas, the franchise. Ian Rotten versus Axel Rotten. Notice, though, that with all these ECW matches, though, that there's no New Jack, which I know because WWE never would want anything to do with New Jack, even though they apparently, for the DVD I'm about to show you right here, okay, nope. Scratch that. I don't have the DVD with me right now. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Okay. So Armageddon, 2004. Why do I remember this pay-per-view? I have no idea. I know, like, I know not a whole lot of people like really have fond memories of this pay-per-view, but for some reason I do, and I don't know why. I don't know why I remember this, but okay. So John Cena, he was feuding with Carlito at the time, and it was supposed to be John Cena versus. So if you guys remember, for this pay-per-view, John Cena was supposed to have been allegedly stabbed at a nightclub. And apparently the plan was it was supposed to be New Jack. New Jack was supposed to be the one that stabbed John Cena at the nightclub. Because keep in mind, this is 2004, and if you watched Dark Side of the Ring, you would know that, or you were living in Florida at the time and you watched the news, you probably heard about a wrestler that stabbed somebody. That was New Jack. So he was supposed to be the guy, but they didn't pick him. They didn't like him, so they were like, no, forget it. We're not going to talk about him. And then they switched him with Carlos Colon's son, Jesus. And that's how it became John Cena versus Jesus in a street fight for the United States Championship. Which, again, for some reason, I remember. I even remember the Dixie Dog fight with Daniel Puder and Mike Mizanin, who would eventually become The Miz. There actually are some good matches on here. I mean, like JBL versus Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero versus Booker T. Well, at least they're good matches on paper. I mean, who would want to see Big Show, Luther Reigns, Mark Jindrak, and Kurt Angle? I mean, Kurt Angle, of course. But Big Show, meh. Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak? I don't think so. Maybe Big Show, Mark, and Kurt. But once you put Luther Reigns in there, does anybody really want to see that? Spike Dudley versus Funaki? Now there's a matchup I don't remember at all. Here's my Bret Hart DVD. You got him and Kevin Nash. There's him and the Bulldog, who, for those of you who have watched the Dynamite Kid Vice TV special documentary, the Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldog, they are cousins. Oh yeah, there he is. He's about to drop the elbow onto Mr. Perfect. There's the Owen Hart tribute match in WCW in 1999, Chris Benoit and Bret Hart. And that is, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Bret Hart is suplexing. I'm guessing it's still Mr. Perfect. And then we got Bret and Ric Flair. Once again, Bret and Kevin Nash, Bret and Bulldog. And there's Bret and The Undertaker, I believe at SummerSlam 97. I also wrote something down. It was a quote from Stone Cold. Bret Hart, on his best day, couldn't lace my boots. Because that's what he was telling Bret back at WrestleMania 13. So, I know I kind of talked a little bit about the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And I don't really know what to think about that. Do you guys know what do you guys think? Sorry, just wanted to take a minute and so what do you guys think about Hell in the Cell? Is you think that's going to be a good pay-per-view? Like, is it going to be a diamond in the rough? Is it going to be just excuse me? It's going to be absolutely terrible. Let me know in the comments below if you want. I also, have some video games. There's Spider-Man 2. That's a really fun game. It's I really like the web swing in that. That's probably my favorite part. You really can't just go anywhere and interact with anyone and anything. You can just fly around for hours and hours. So you can it really makes you feel like Spider-Man. Which, who doesn't want to feel like Spider-Man? Speaking of Spider-Man, I have to say, he's probably my favorite superhero of all time. Second to, I don't know, it's either between him, Captain America, or the Incredible Hulk. Even though I was scared of him for a long time because he's a big hulking monster, right? This is my Spider-Man Deluxe Edition DVD. It's it also had some special features for the sneak peek of Spider-Man 2, which was going to come out which came out 2 years after the first one. In fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and do a short review of this. Overall, I think this is a solid Marvel movie. I really like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He's honestly my favorite one. Even though I do like Tom Holland, I think he does a good job. The effects, while they are cheesy and very Power Rangers-like, it's, to me, what I like about a movie is characters that make you believe. When you have characters that you can really get invested in, and the dialogue is very memorable, so basically, as long as you have a good story, you have characters to root for, and you have memorable dialogue, I don't really care if the effects aren't that good. I really just care about the story being good, there's memorable lines of dialogue, and there's characters you can invest in. And to me, I think that's exactly what this movie does. It has characters you can invest in. You remember when Uncle Ben, when he died, and Peter Parker crying, which has obviously now become, kind of a big joke and a funny meme, It's just, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just, it is pretty funny though. The way that they just kind of memed him like that. I will say that Mary Jane is kind of, she's not really that memorable. I mean, she's nice, but I do kind of agree with the nostalgia critic in that she's really just nice. I mean, she doesn't really have like a whole lot of character to her. But at the same time, even though I am being a little bit biased, I'll say that it's okay sometimes for a character to not really have anything beyond one trope at times, because sometimes that's how you see people, not all people obviously, but some people in real life. Like you have some friends out there, that you really only just see as like one person. So I'll give it a pass. And the action between and the Green Goblin played by Willem Dafoe is just so memorable, so over the top that it's really just a fun movie. And plus, when you have a superhero movie that has the Macho Man, Randy Savage in it, and Bruce Campbell is the ring announcer, you know you're doing something right. So, how can anybody really hate this movie when you have Macho Man as a wrestler going up against the human spider? You know, who remembers Bonesaw? I do, and I always will. Here's another Marvel movie that I'm sure that people have always kind of been a little bit mixed about. Oh, and of course I have I have Spider-Man 2 on DVD. Haven't watched that in a while, but I definitely know that I should, and I will. Because once again, Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man, and Alfred Molina, I know him from the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. Which, speaking of Indiana Jones, when I was watching The Dark Side of the Ring on the Dynamite Kid, I was thinking when he was throwing all those needles, when they were okay, so they were all taking steroids at that time. And they literally took the needles and they threw them into the wall and they would stick like darts. And it almost reminded me of that scene in The Lost Ark where Indy is like, give me the whip. And Alfred Molina, obviously he doesn't give him the whip. Once, he helps him. And then all of a sudden, once Indy makes it out, he comes across, Alfred Molina's character, and his head is pierced with spikes. So that's what it reminded me of. Just the way they were placed, kind of like the spikes in his head. Here's another movie, Hulk, starring Eric Bana, directed by Ang Lee, which is a movie that not a whole lot of people like. And don't get me wrong, it's not by any means a perfect Marvel movie. It's not. But there's just something that I like about it. I like the comic book feel to it. I like how when you watch the movie, it does kind of turn into like comic panels. So it really makes you feel like you're in like a live action comic. And I don't even think that the effects for the Incredible Hulk were that bad, not even now in 2021. And while I wouldn't watch it more than once, I will say that I do kind of have a soft spot for it. Now, maybe that's because I was really young when it came out, or I'm just a really big Hulk fan. I don't know. But it's been about 24 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm getting kind of tired. So thank you once again for those who tuned in, and I apologize if any of the people that tuned out were because I was kind of just talking and not really doing anything. But again, thank you to whoever liked the stream, and thank you to those who watched. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.